I'm live. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the session. My name is Julia Chen. I lead the Specialist and Partner Core team at AWS. And what we're responsible for is all of the different partner programs, partner strategic collaboration agreements, enablement tools, and initiatives to help our partners be really successful. I'm super happy to be joined today by my colleague, Matt Yanchishin, who's going to be coming up here in a little bit, who works very closely with us on Partner Central and Marketplace, the two services that really power the AWS partner experience. So in today's session, we're going to be exploring ways that you can reach more customers and grow your business more profitably. I'm excited to be talking to you about it. And you'll have to excuse me, I'm a little hoarse. It's the end of the week here. So first, I want to talk a little bit about physics and space exploration, those are subjects that are very close to my heart. My father was an optical engineer, and he designed lenses for space telescopes. And so this instilled in me a real love of the cosmos. You know, the great frontier, the vast unknown. I really love it. To venture into space, you have to overcome Earth's gravitational pull by reaching escape velocity. This is a huge undertaking, and it requires a spacecraft to accelerate to 25,000 miles per hour. So, how much fuel does it take to get to 25,000 miles per hour? It actually takes 90% of the rocket's weight at takeoff, that amount of fuel. So the Falcon 9 takes 900,000 pounds of fuel to get into space. So it kind of gives you an idea of the amount of power that it takes to get out of Earth's gravitational pull. Oops. Hold on one second. Back. So it's a enormous amount of engineering and an enormous amount of energy to do it. We want you to have your own breakout year, right? Escape velocity. So we want all of our partners to hit escape velocity and get out of the grips of business as usual and really deliver things above and beyond the market. So our mission together is to help you reach new heights of customer value delivery and profitability, just like a spacecraft escapes Earth's gravitational pull into orbit. So we're excited to share with you what kind of rocket fuel we've been working on together with you. Are you ready? Okay. All right, so how are you going to have a breakout year? How many of you guys went to Ruba's session yesterday, just so I have a show of hands? Okay. Okay, about most of you guys did. So in Ruba's keynote yesterday, you heard about the incredible opportunity with AWS and our partners. You heard Matt Garman say it on stage as well, that partners are the key to growth for all of us and all of this value delivery. You have intimacy and trust with the customer. You guys know the use cases on the ground floor. So this is really, really important. And we really believe that the combination of AWS and partner is winning, is the winning combination. So AWS, as you've seen across the course of this week, continues to put out lots of innovation, which we love. And so the depth and the breadth of the AWS services combined with all of your capabilities, with your IP, with your differentiation, this is the winning combination. So, we're super proud of the different use cases that we showcase. For example, you saw a drone delivering medication in Africa, right, to someone who needed it. That was a use case yesterday. You know that Siemens Mobility, for example, helps rail operators avoid downtime and unplanned maintenance. So there's a lot of different, there's so many stories, and I'm constantly inspired by the stories that I hear about what our partners are building in conjunction with the AWS services. You also know, we say it a lot here, that we work backwards from the customer, their needs, their challenges, their opportunities. And so being able to meet the demands of all of these different customers means that we have to, there's many of us that it takes to put these things together. So that's why we continue to innovate, and we want to innovate with you. And all of this together is why customers tell us they choose to build on AWS. You're a huge part of the value delivery to our customers. Customers need you. And this is kind of obvious to those of us that are sitting in the room, but I love putting stats behind it because sometimes we have to convince other people about this. We surveyed over 2,400 global customers and found out that 51% of customers plan to increase their spend with partners in the next year, which is fabulous. Partners are brought in to 67 to 75% of IT procurement engagements, And over 46% of customers actually rely entirely on their partner as they're making the IT purchases. Most importantly for us, they actually indicated in this survey that partners are their top influencer on vendor decisions. So this is even more than internal stakeholders and even more than the vendor themselves. So all of this underscores things that we've known all along, which is that you guys are super important to the customer's decision making. You're their trusted advisors. And so we're dedicated to helping you because you help them. And how do we know what our customers need and what you need to serve our customers? We're listening very carefully to both our customers and to you guys. And I also want to take a moment to thank those of you who give us feedback. So we really, really appreciate it. We really need it. And we make a lot of changes based on your direct feedback. Last year, we collected over 10,000 survey responses from partners through a variety of channels. So twice a year, we put out a partner survey. I think some of you guys see that. But also, we're collecting all this feedback from you at re:Invent, at events, at various events that we put on all around the world throughout the year. So thank you very much for participating in our councils, in our advisory boards, in our partner summits, and obviously here at re:Invent. I want you to know that your experience matters. Your feedback matters. We take that all into account as we're continuing to build out our roadmaps. Here are some examples for, so that you can see of things where your feedback actually changed the trajectory of what we were developing. So based on your feedback, we've really embarked on this journey to transform the partner experience because we need you to have the best and most efficient experience that you can have working with us. Our vision is to make AWS the best place for partners to build, market, sell, and grow to the customers. And we're really excited to tell you what we've been doing to help you grow your business predictably and profitably, which I know is super, super important with AWS. Okay, so Matt and I will walk you through what to sell, like how we think about what to sell, how to sell, who to sell with, all of this throughout the course of the presentation. So we're going to start with what to sell. We've been showing this slide. We continue to show this slide because it's kind of the foundation of how I think about partner profitability. The concept behind it is very simple, which is the more differentiated your solution is, the greater customer value you deliver, and therefore the more profit you're going to make. This has actually been confirmed by many interviews and many surveys that we've done with research partners. So a Canalys study showed that partners with a broad range of different services, professional and managed services, for example, make more money than those who don't diversify their portfolios. So our commitment is to meeting our customers wherever you are on this matrix and getting you to wherever it is that you want to be. Also, you'll see a line for technology solutions, right? Technology solutions are for our ISVs, for example. So, but if you ask me where we're trying to get to, I think we're all trying to get to the very top, which is business outcome solution delivery. So let's start at the top with that. According to Gartner, global IT spend is forecasted to reach $5.7 trillion in 2025. So this is a 9.3% increase over 2024. And what we also know is that most of this money, increasingly more and more of this money is going through the line of business buyer. So this is not the IT person anymore. This is going to be the head of manufacturing. It's going to be the CMO, right? It's going to be, CRO, for example. So business outcome solutions like product lifecycle management in manufacturing or real-time in-store retail analytics, those kinds of things deliver the most value to customers because it directly affects the way that they're making money. So the holy grail is really to deliver these business outcome solutions, and we realize that in some cases this takes more than one partner. Very few partners can do the whole thing themselves. AWS has been working really hard to facilitate the way that you build, market, sell, and grow the business outcome solutions. Our Business Outcome Accelerator program, which we affectionately call BOX, is GA, and we have matchmaking events going on all around the world, so let us know if you're interested in participating in those. We are publishing our high priority use cases. So for every industry vertical, we have several high priority use cases that we'll publish on our site. In Partner Central, you'll see that we're asking you to be more precise about how you label your solutions. The reason why we're doing this is so that we can better match your solutions with opportunities that AWS receives. And we're also enabling you to be able to attach multiple partners actually to a solution. And that becomes really important so everybody gets transparency and credit and the ability to collaborate together, which Matt will talk about. On AWS Marketplace, in our consulting partner private offers, we really encourage combining the technology solutions with the services solutions together on Marketplace. So let's move on to managed services. So managed services was sort of in the middle of the partner profitability matrix. According to Forrester and to IDC, by 2026, managed service providers will manage 65% of the cloud spend, representing $443 billion, which is a lot. We conducted our own research and we found that MSPs are one of the top 3 influencers internally and externally of a customer's purchase decisions. So they're a highly trusted member of the customer's extended team. It makes a lot of sense, right? Because if you're providing managed services, you are in the flow of their business. You're watching their consumption, you can see what they're using, you can see where they have gaps. So it makes a lot of sense. So partners that do both have actually told us that they see retention doubling and end customer account growth increasing by 50% between professional SaaS-based services and managed services. So they're seeing a lot of benefits from going to managed services and consequently higher profitability as well. So we've been enhancing benefits to help our managed service providers better sell and grow their AWS practices through MAP for MSP. So we know MAP has a limit on it, and sometimes you have to aggregate, like we're giving you the ability to aggregate some of the smaller deals and smaller accounts that you work with to be able to hit some of our MAP thresholds, for example. This allows MSPs to more easily migrate the smaller customers undergoing this on-prem management onto AWS. We've had so much interest in MSP that we actually had 1,000 partners attend our MSP day last month. Because of that, we're going to do 4 more MSP days, and so if you missed the first one, please participate in one of the 4 coming up because we think you'll like what we're doing with MSP. And as we move to technology solutions and value-added services, there's so many opportunities, so we'll talk about those as well. There are a couple of places. People always ask what's the strategy or advice for next year, so I'll give you a couple of places that AWS prioritizes right now, and it's worth your attention. No surprise here, generative AI. So you heard a lot about Gen AI through the week. You heard Matt and Swami announce the latest innovation in our AI portfolio. So we have new Bedrock features around guardrails, around knowledge bases and agents. There's Amazon Q Developer for unit test generation, documentation, code reviews, code modernization. There's Amazon Q for Business, which we use a lot internally for accelerating tasks with internal data, right? Confidential data that you don't want leaving the premises of your company. We understand that there is a steep learning curve on the Gen AI, and there's a steep experimentation curve as well to unlock the value. But thank you so much for your partnership here. We're definitely seeing some strong momentum. We have training and certification available to you on the topic of Gen AI. Last March, we announced the AWS Generative AI Competency Program, and we had 27 launch partners like Calent, Mission, Firemind, Compass, and many more. And I'm delighted to say that since then, we have more than doubled in size on how many partners we have in the competency. I think this morning Raul stated actually that we have over 100 Gen AI competency partners, including 20 startups, by the way. So if this is something that you're interested in, then definitely come talk to us because I think it's worth your while because it helps the customers really find which of our partners have the capability to do their Gen AI projects with them. So once a customer chooses you, we actually have proof of concept funding that is available to you as well. And if you're converting POCs into production on Gen AI, we've got other investments that we're willing to make with you as well. So definitely come talk to us if you're interested in those. To learn and get started, you can scan the QR code here, and that will bring you to our Gen AI Innovation Center, where there's loads more content and lots of assets for you guys to use, including playbooks, including all kinds of different things. I'll give you a minute there. All right, the next area. So at AWS, we like to say security is job zero. And I think a lot of you guys feel that way as well. So according to the 2024 cybersecurity survey, 95% of respondents are moderately to extremely concerned about security on the cloud. So how many people have encountered security as the biggest reason why a customer is worried about moving to the cloud? I see a show of hands. Handful, hopefully. That's good. We keep wanting to get that lower every year. Partners have told us they want to do more with us in the security space. And one of the biggest feedback points that you guys have given is that it's sometimes hard to, like we don't have a steady roadmap of security launches and security programmatic features. And so we've continued to address that. So I'm pleased to announce, and if you saw the keynote yesterday, Ruba talked about these 4 things as well, 4 new security specializations that have unique go-to-market benefits. So the first one is a new security AI category for both software and services partners. This is going to help our customers identify and engage trusted AWS partners with deep expertise in protecting AI applications and leveraging AI to mitigate advanced cyber attack tactics. So that's the first one. The second one is around AWS AWS Security Lake Service Ready Specialization. That's a mouthful, which allows partners to validate that your integrations are actually compatible with our security lake. And I know many of them are. So this validation process is conducted with the help of one of our PSAs, so our partner solution architects that give the customers the assurance that you're compatible. The next one is around AWS Security Incident Response Service Ready for ISVs and Service Delivery Specialization for SIs. So this security incident response triages threat findings, helping customers with coordination and AWS native response tooling during incidences and providing 24/7 access to security experts. So that is a badge that you can wear proudly as well. And for our commercial and public sector partners, digital sovereignty specialization. So this one is long anticipated and highly requested, actually. So we're super proud that starting yesterday, we launched this as an official digital sovereignty competency to really help validate and promote sovereign cloud offerings. IDC reports that 82% of organizations right now are planning to use or considering sovereign cloud solutions in the next 2 years. And there's a lot of government regulation. I know you guys have heard, and if you're working in the federal space, there's a lot of government regulation around sovereign cloud. All right, the next one, also probably not a surprise to anybody, migration and modernization. So this is kind of, the basis of our business. IDC estimates that the worldwide spending on cloud services will more than double and exceed 1.6 trillion with a T by 2028. The majority of what they're going to be spending on is on migration services for large enterprise workloads like SAP, VMware, Microsoft, and also Oracle. In July, we announced major changes and improvements to our Migration Acceleration Program, or MAP. It's the evolution of our largest program, and many of you guys who saw us at reInvent last year, we talked about these changes. So this included lifting the cap on some of our historical incentive caps on MAP, and also paying upon revenue realization, so that we reduce a lot of the paperwork that we used to do back and forth, which hopefully is making everybody happy. So now you can build pipeline and win every deal regardless of size because of these cap lifts, and hopefully you are experiencing less administrative burden from our processes. There's also strategic priorities. So we've added kickers or incentives on strategic priorities. At the moment, the priorities are around Greenfield, VMware, SAP, and modernization. And let's talk for a minute about VMware. So at the moment, Broadcom has been changing some of their licensing policies and renewal policies with customers. And there's a lot of buzz in the market around customers looking for options around VMware. So with MAP, we've actually enabled migration of VMware workloads with additional mobilization incentives. It's $200 per virtual machine. And if you also include day 2 managed services, it's $300 per virtual machine. So we're really leaning into our customer obsession here to offer our customers and our partners more choice so that they can focus on what matters and helping the customer take the path that they need to take. We will also fund your usage of third-party ISV tooling that helps with assessment, migration, modernization, and management, such as River Meadow, Matilda Cloud, Treons. These ISV tools that you see up here will help and actually digitize and accelerate some of these migration motions. And last week, hopefully you caught the announcement, we launched another option for VMware customers looking to run their VMware-based workloads on AWS. So Amazon Elastic VMware Service was the big announcement last week, and this will allow customers to run their VMware Cloud Foundation-based environments within their AWS virtual private cloud. This will need to be partner managed. So this is a giant play and opportunity for all of you. We actually can't sell this service by ourselves. This actually has to be, by definition, partner attached. So hopefully you'll look into this with us and love your partnership here on the VMware front. So let's talk about modernization for a minute, modernization more broadly. So we all know that migration isn't enough. So in some cases where we've done lift and shift, the customer has said, wait a minute, where are the savings? It's because just moving everything into the cloud as it was is not the full benefit, right? So we're putting more of an emphasis on modernization and helping our customers really modernize their whole stack, right? Infrastructure all the way to application layer. And partners can leverage our 6 modernization pathways: cloud, containers, managed databases, open source, managed analytics, and modern DevOps. And of course, that becomes then the basis for Gen AI, right? They need to do some of these things so that they can take full advantage of the Gen AI. And as more and more customers are looking to experiment with the benefit of these AI projects, it's never been easier to answer the question of why now? So a customer says, why do I have to move to the cloud? Why now? And you can say, Gen AI use case, whatever it is, to help hit their business outcome solution. So that's very much the conversation. I want to switch gears now to who you sell to. So when we talk about who you sell to, we want you to help customers of all different sizes. And this is something that Ruba definitely said in her keynote yesterday. She was, talking a lot about SMB. So IDC forecasts total cloud spend for small and medium customers to grow by 87%. 87% in the next 3 years. So this is reaching a total opportunity size of $87 billion by 2027. So all of these offerings that we've discussed around Gen AI, around security, around modernization, all of these different things, the small customers need it too. And I know you guys know this, but I know we spend a lot of time here talking about enterprise customers. So last year we launched the SMB competency. Since launching in 2024, we've seen tremendous growth with over 60 partners joining in less than a year. So the partners with the SMB competency, Ruba said as well, are actually generating 33% more business with SMB than those who don't, that are comparable. So this is a really huge opportunity that we see. So I'm really excited to announce that starting January 1st, we're launching the Small Business Acceleration Initiative. This is AWS's first partner-led channel sales motion. And what do I mean when I say partner-led sales motion? It means there's no account manager in the account. And this is actually very new for AWS, and we're starting here. We're excited about this. And we're ramping up customer awareness through AWS Demand Gen channel. So we're continuing to do the demand gen, but now we have a bunch of leads that we can pass to our partners, which we're very excited about. So these will be to the SMB competency partners and our distributors as well. So to further support partners, we're also launching the Small Business Partner Package in AWS Partner Central. So this package will be your one-stop shop for SMB go-to-market material. We want to put it all there for you, including marketing campaigns, sales plays, package solutions. These new resources are really they're designed to help you be able to very quickly accelerate your business in SMB. So it represents a huge opportunity, we think, for all of you guys to be able to tackle a market that you're probably already in. But this is one way where I think we want to, we've asked for simplification and easier co-selling. It'll go faster and better this way. I think we're further clarifying where we're going to be able to pass things to you guys with less interference from our AWS account teams. So now I'll turn it over to Matt, because he's going to talk to you about how we're going to sell.
Thanks, Julia.
Yep.
Okay, before I dive in, I just wanted to share an observation that I've had from a lot of meetings with partners and customers this week, particularly with partners, that I think might resonate with some of you, and I think is relevant to this specific presentation. Oftentimes, a bit like we're doing in this presentation, Julie gets on stage and talks about all the amazing innovation in funding and programs and training and sort of that side of the partner business. And then I get up on stage and talk about features that we're building from the product and engineering team. And very often there are separate QBRs to track these things with different teams at the partners. And I can't stress this enough. I would like to invite all of you to bring those two things together. It's so important that you align incentives like around map and workload migration, or a lot of the things that Julia talked about, with some of the innovation and the features that I'm about to talk about in this presentation, because how you go to market, whether you're an ISV or consulting partner, how you serve our joint customers is holistic. And you can help that sales cycle with a mix of the funding and the training and the programs and the features that we're bringing. So my call to action before anything's to all of you is to bring those two threads together. Let's have a holistic conversation together about how we can better serve customers and not do what we just did here and split the presentation in half, technical and program/funding/training. But without further ado, let's jump in. So we're obviously investing. You know, I've been really excited about all of the feature launches. I think we have 107 feature launches year to date. Ruba announced on stage that 46 of them are big, but the number is actually bigger than that. It's probably more. My team will probably tell me we launched 5 features while I was standing up here. We had 25 feature launches in the last 4 weeks. But that's just a number, and it doesn't really matter. What matters is that we continue to invest in partners in a meaningful way. We're putting engineers behind it, we're putting funding dollars behind it, and you hear it all the way up to the top. If you read that amazing CRN article that came out with Matt Garman, you'll know that all the way up to Andy Jassy, Matt Garman, and down, we're invested from an executive buy-in perspective, from an investment perspective in dollar terms, and also from an engineering perspective. And second thing I can't emphasize enough, your feedback matters. If you tease apart those 107 features and what we announced this week, you'll know that it's in direct response to what Robert asked me for just a couple months ago, or what Mike asked me for. I saw you earlier. There's several of you in the room who have directly influenced our roadmap. So if you don't like what you see on the screen here today, come talk to us, send us a note, and we'll change. We're agile, we'll pivot, we'll deliver. We want you to be profitable, we want you to continue to grow, and it takes both features from an engineering perspective and programs and funding and other mechanisms to really best serve our customers. We also want to continue to deliver transparency. I think you've hopefully seen in the last few years, we're very transparent with the roadmap. That will continue. Please hold us accountable. So you've heard a lot about Marketplace the last few years. We were just joking that a lot of people get their roadmap information from Matt Wise' LinkedIn feed, and I was saying that it's probably not the most efficient way. That indicates we can do a better job of our roadmap sharing, but hey, if that works, it works. There's been a lot of noise about Marketplace, not because Matt Wise is posting about it on LinkedIn, but because it is a truly effective way to go to market. And I'm going to share some statistics as to why. It helps us serve our joint customers. Customers love it. It's driven by customers, and it's helping partners continue to grow and be profitable in really new and exciting ways. I feel privileged to sit at sort of the epicenter of a big change in really how we sell in the enterprise. So I'm going to talk about some of the recent improvements we've made. I'm going to talk about how we're going to continue to accelerate, even though it's already one of our fastest growing sales channels across all of AWS. But let's dive right in. So first of all, let's sort of level set in the vision. Marketplace is, I'll use present tense, the preferred way to buy and sell third-party software and data and services in the cloud. And what I'd like to stress here is that it's not just software. We're seeing incredible growth in services in particular in the cloud. A lot of companies like MongoDB, for example, are selling services that complement their ISV solutions. So we're seeing the combination of services, and by that I mean people services, managed services, professional services, to go along with software sales. The power of multiple parties involved in a customer opportunity can't be emphasized enough, and that's driving some of the fastest growing part of our business, the coupling of those two things together. We put a lot of effort into partner-focused improvements in previous years. We started as really a self-service marketplace about 12 years ago. I've been with AWS for 12 years. I used to be a solutions architect with some people here in the room today. And then I grew into overhead, standing here on the stage. I think in my 12 years at AWS, and I saw this evolution from marketplace becoming a self-service oriented software marketplace to an enterprise-oriented powerhouse that does a lot of private offers. And then we introduced channel partner private offers, more recently announced support for distribution partners, but a lot of partners. I'm saying partners a lot. We were focused on the partner motion, helping partners be successful and grow, and that's successful, but we're not successful unless our customers are successful, and that's you and me both. And I think we kind of took our foot off the gas a little bit when it came to focusing on buyer-focused features. And so you've really seen an emphasis, I hope, over the last 1 to 2 years on customer-focused. And by that I mean buyer-focused features. And so there's been a huge raft of features coming out on Matt Wise' LinkedIn feed specifically to support the buyer. Because if we can bring up the number of buyers using Marketplace, we will all be more successful. So we just recently launched product comparisons on AWS Marketplace. Really excited about that, getting good feedback. It's definitely an MLP, a V1, and I welcome your feedback on this one. It's AI powered as well. So this isn't, I didn't hire like a team of people to put together product comparisons. We're using the same algorithms that we use to recommend partners internally to power these AI powered recommendations and summaries, so customers can get information more quickly, but they also want to speed the time that it takes to evaluate and to compare the products on the marketplace with other adjacent technologies. And so again, we're trying to speed up the time that buyers, or rather reduce the time that it takes buyers to evaluate what they need to buy in the marketplace, because that occupies a big chunk of the end-to-end procurement lifecycle. We did hear from both buyers and sellers that private offers are just too hard. There were a lot of paper cuts. We've been moving fast and growing quickly, and sometimes when you move fast and grow quickly, paper cuts start to show up and some rough edges around some of the features, and that happened. We've been growing very fast to keep up with the pace of the business, and now we're systematically knocking down a number of the paper cuts associated with private offer transformation, but not just on the partner side. We have a private offer transformation multi-year initiative that is focused both on how offers are created by partners, and you've seen some new features come out there in terms of making it much more streamlined, but also how customers handle and accept private offers. This includes, but not limited to, some of the notifications that are now available via EventBridge and SNS, and some of the APIs that have come out on both the seller side and the buyer side to allow people to integrate their private offer workflow into their procurement process end to end. Ultimately, we want to accelerate how things are discovered and how things are bought. And we want to meet the buyer where they are when it comes to the actual purchase process and procurement process by integrating into the processes and tooling that they have. We're also integrating with an increasing number of AWS products. So when you're looking on AWS Marketplace, that's one thing, but we want to integrate with more AWS services. Bedrock Marketplace just launched, and it features over 100 foundation models from third parties, from partners. Those are marketplace listings. It's powered by AWS Marketplace, like the core foundation models in Bedrock already. You're increasingly seeing AWS Marketplace and its APIs power integrations with other parts of AWS, so buyers can find your services and software in more places, and you can meet different types of buyers that are often highly intentioned buyers if you meet them in the right place. Oh, sorry. One of the interesting product integrations that was among so many launches, so I wanted to call your attention to it this week, that's really important, is SaaS vendors. How many SaaS partners are in the audience today? A lot. All right. I love you guys. SaaS private offers are powering Marketplace. But SaaS vendors have been asking me for years, how can we get in the EC2 console, which maybe sounds counterintuitive, but many SaaS solutions, especially in like monitoring, for example, have agents that sit on the EC2 instance that send telemetry. There's other use cases too, where you need to have some type of a sidecar or an agent on a container or on an EC2 image. And customers, more importantly, a lot of them still use server-based products, and a lot of you successfully sell server-based products on AWS, but when a customer has a golden image, a golden AMI process where it rolls new golden images, it wasn't as easy as it could be to integrate partner products into that golden image. So we launched a product integration with EC2 Image Builder that uses a special YAML template. So now you can auto-integrate your marketplace product into EC2 Image Builder, and your product is available in the EC2 Image Builder console for discovery. Now, why should you care if you're a SaaS vendor, for example? Or imagine you're a monitoring and observability partner, and you need to have your agent on every instance. But that agent, the version of that software changes. Now, when you upgrade the version in Marketplace, it can automatically kick off a golden image pipeline that recreates a new golden image for the customer. And so you can tie version updates in Marketplace to golden image pipelines, and you can have the latest agent instance on instance, and it's all integrated through EC2 Image Builder. That's just one use case. There are other creative ways that I'll learn from you about how you can use this. But it goes to show how we're integrating Marketplace into many different parts of the AWS service portfolio to make your customers, our joint customers' lives easier. We don't just want to make existing customers' lives easier. We want AWS to be, an AWS Marketplace to be a significant source of new growth for you. And we've heard from a lot of customers or partners that they want us not just, we talk about AOs and POs a lot, right? But ultimately, what does it mean? It means that you want new logos, you want new business. How can we help you go down market, go up market, reach new segments, grow internationally? We want to help you grow your businesses, and like Julia said, grow them profitably. So as more customers turn to AWS Marketplace and come to AWS, how can we effectively do that? How can we turn Marketplace into a source of new business and new revenue for you? It's one of the big reasons why I was super excited to launch Buy with AWS yesterday. Ruba on Stage launched it yesterday. It actually kind of quietly launched over the last few weeks if you're paying attention with launches by Ingram Micro and Databricks and Carahsoft and many others. But Buy with AWS is super important because how do you get new business? New customers. It's rocket science, obviously it took economics. It turns out that not all customers have an AWS account. Or maybe you're doing demand gen campaigns and they're not necessarily pointed at your product detail page at Marketplace. That's not the most effective way to capture that lead and convert it. You tell me, you know how you sell. That's not up to me to tell you. So what Buy with AWS is, I talked about product integrations before. Now we're integrated now with many AWS service consoles like EC2 Image Builder, like what we've done with Bedrock Marketplace. What we decided though is the same APIs that we build our AWS Marketplace website with, and that we now use to build the AWS console integrations with and AWS service integrations. What if we expose those APIs externally? So anyone could build an AWS Marketplace discovery, try, buy, fulfill, eventually configure experience anywhere. And if you've been paying attention to the LinkedIn feed or coming to the conferences, you'll know that I've been talking about Marketplace everywhere. And this is a key step in a multi-step journey for Marketplace everywhere. Let's have the Marketplace, let's have Marketplace listings in more AWS services, but let's move beyond the walls of AWS and put AWS Marketplace where your customers are. If you think of the generation of buyers, buyer behaviors are changing. I was just talking with an analyst on a podcast just before I sprinted over here a few minutes ago. And there's a whole generation who grew up on their phones, like some of you are on your phones right now. And you demand immediate results. You deploy apps. And this may sound cheeky, but it's true. CIOs, CISOs, increasingly these executives are this generation who grew up not wanting to talk to a salesperson necessarily. Like enterprise sales is here to stay, don't get me wrong. But people demand more immediacy, more immediate results, and they want to find, try, and buy something where they normally operate. They don't want to have to go through sort of a clunky, long enterprise sales motion. So all of these drivers led to us launching Buy with AWS, and it's really cool. What I love about it is it's getting back to the AWS roots. And like Mike Ruiz will tell you, some of the OGs sitting in the audience here, I value what AWS was when it first started, that startup sort of craziness. I want to get back to that. It was amazing. And what was that? It was we would throw out some APIs and we would let customers surprise and delight us with these crazy things they did with them that we could never have predicted. That's what I'm asking you to do with Buy with AWS, and we're already seeing it. We've given you our catalog API, we've given you our agreements API, and now partners like Databricks are building some pretty cool stuff that I didn't honestly think of when I first came up with it and started saying Marketplace everywhere on stage. In-app upgrades are available today in Databricks. They can capture those leads in the Databricks ISV website or on the Databricks product, and then convert those leads to Marketplace closed opportunities without ever leaving the Databricks product, because it uses our APIs to talk to our Marketplace backend. That's cool. That's great. And hey, that's how they want to capture new business. Awesome. So again, meet customers where they are. If Databricks wants to do it that way. Other partners want to reach SMBs or maybe new customers in Japan through a 2-tier distribution partner model, right? So why not put Marketplace there? Let's talk to Ingram Micro with their Xvantage platform, for example, that now has Marketplace listings integrated in the Ingram Micro Cloud Marketplace. That could be how you start to hit the long tail. So again, by exposing APIs, exposing all this stuff, it allows you to grow your business in new ways, in new countries, via different end-tier models, resellers, by integrating Marketplace into ISV websites and into third-party cloud marketplaces. We kind of went big with Buy with AWS. It turns out that this idea got some legs. We took a goal internally to launch with 20 launch partners. We launched with over 50 launch partners. And these include channel partners, these include ISVs. We're just getting started. and I think there's been a lot of buzz about this. It turns out that that there's a real hunger out there to have a diverse set of channels, really, to reach different types of business in different countries, different segments. Again, if we're going to grow the business, it means we're going to have to grow in a number of different ways. And I can't just assume that all of that growth is going to be channeled through the original AWS Marketplace. So let's open it up. Let's reach new business in all sorts of places together. And it sort of comes to that transparency too. We're partners. The word partner means we partner. So I want you, here's my challenge. I want you to take our APIs, including but not limited to the ones we launched with Buy with AWS, and build some crazy stuff. And if you build some awesome, crazy stuff, I'll put you on stage with me. That's my deal. And we'll do something together. And we'll grow some business, more importantly, for our customers. But let's not forget the customer in this. I think that's what it's all about. I mean, it's not field of dreams. We see this with partners sometimes. They put a listing up on Marketplace, and then they're like, why didn't anyone come? Because they didn't do any of the PLG stuff, and they didn't do any demand gen. Same with Buy with AWS. You have to work backwards from your customers. Where are they showing up to discover products? How do they want to buy? And let's do that together. Let's workshop with your alliances teams, and then let's insert the right features and Buy with AWS in the right place so we can delight those customers in the right places so they buy your stuff. So we're seeing this is Bytes, one of our partners, great feedback already. Some of these solutions have been out for a few weeks, so we're already starting to see some great momentum. Again, if we meet customers where they are and better serve their needs, no surprise, conversion rates go up and new business acquisition also goes up. If you're a consulting partner and you're sitting here saying, hey, this has nothing to do with me, these are a bunch of wrong. As I said earlier, services partners is one of the fastest growing parts of our business, not just services plus ISV, but modern services companies like Mission Cloud that just got acquired by CDW, which was amazing. They've been selling like gangbusters in the marketplace, and they also want to reach new channels in interesting ways that can be unlocked with Buy with AWS. So this is for services and software partners. Anyone can benefit from Buy with AWS. Another way that we can help you grow your business is product-led growth, PLG. This is another sort of Econ 101 buzzword, but an important one. I can't tell you the number of partners who sit down and tell me at the beginning, especially ones who sell the enterprise, and say, no, my enterprise sales motion is complex, private offer only. And sure, maybe, that's the way you used to operate. But let's talk about how you can grow your business significantly and reach new customers and drive new sources of revenue by combining the two. It's not a binary decision. And if you take away anything from this session, and especially if you're a software partner who targets enterprise, we're seeing the most success. When I look at just off the top of my head, the top 5 sellers by total contract value on Marketplace, they're taking a hybrid approach. They have product-led growth features on the front end, and what that means is self-service discovery, SaaS free trials, SaaS private or request a demo, request a private offer, optimized PDP pages, Buy with AWS, all these things that are acquiring customers in a self-service motion. And they use that as a top of the funnel lead gen mechanism that feeds a private offer funnel. So you don't have to give up private offer, but you shouldn't give up new business that you can acquire through product-led growth. So we're making Marketplace, I want to turn Marketplace into the primary place that you get AOs. You keep telling me, I want more AOs. Well, let's do it together. Let's integrate the right features that meet your customers in the right way, whether it's a free trial or an optimized listing in some other way, or exposing your listing through a multi-venue channel approach with Buy with AWS, and let's capture some new business together. Because those same enterprises who told me that they are private offer only, I've never met, in the same breath they'll say, well, I'm also trying to go down market and sell to SMB. So let's do that. Let's do that. That means that PLG can help you. It's not the only tool you need, but you need both. So again, focus on the buyer. What do buyers want? They want immediate results. They want free trials. Free trials have great conversion rates. They want to be able to request a private offer, request a demo without ever talking to a human. You can do that now on Marketplace. If you're not integrating these features already. So these are some of the private offer features that we have, like enhanced product detail pages. We have much better, if you've seen the pages later, but much better SEO, but other enhancements to the product detail pages, product comparisons that you saw on there. SaaS free trials has been around for forever. I mentioned that increased conversion rates, definitely. Request a demo, request a private offer buttons, we call them calls to action, you can have on your listing. And SaaS quick launch, which is post-procurement configuration. Remember, the buyer journey doesn't stop at subscription. A significant percentage of buyers, after they buy, don't do anything with it. Use it once or 0 times. And so it's really important that you follow the buyer journey after subscription to configuration, and SaaS Quick Launch automates some of the post-purchase configuration tasks to make your product useful. A third way to grow new business is to grow into new geographies, and my goal is to make Marketplace the way that you can easily create a global customer base for your products. So it took us a while to get here, but we've launched a number of new features and new enhancements to our international expansion strategy. We recently launched the ability to transact private offers end-to-end in Euro, British pounds, Japanese yen, and Australian dollar. We just recently, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, launched our 40th place where you can sell Marketplace in Colombia. So we're very excited that we can now support many more places. We removed the requirement to have a US-based bank account, which if you're a non-US seller partner is a very important step. Behind the scenes, we've been doing a lot of little things that several partners in the room know about, driven by your feedback to make tax treatment better, the way that we really do invoicing, billing, tax treatment. When I came into the Marketplace role, first of all, I didn't realize I'd have to become a tax expert. But second, I think our approach before was like, we'll stand up a local entity in X country and it'll just work. Turns out it's a lot more complicated than that. There's local invoicing, local tax collection, and just tax requirements. For example, like in South Korea, how they tax in a channel partner private offer motion, at what leg of the journey is taxed is different from other countries around South Korea. And so we need country-specific sets of features that allow you to do business there. And again, my second, maybe third call to action for you today is please work with your alliances team and tell us where do you want to go to market, and we'll give you a very precise, specific answer about what those countries need. Are you selling direct or are you selling via channel? Because the answer I give you about Canada will actually be a little different for those two things. So let's get specific together, and we will be honest and transparent and tell you what we have today and what's coming to meet your international inspection challenges. Let's do that now instead of when you have that amazing $100 million deal locked up and it needs to be closed in 2 days. Please, please. But we're working hard. I want to make Marketplace the differentiated place to sell internationally. It's not all about Marketplace, surprise. I own Marketplace and Partner Services, and a really important part of my business is to accelerate co-sell of everything, including but not limited to Marketplace. So my team also builds Partner Central, which includes things like ACE and APFP, and all of the tools in your toolbox that help you co-sell effectively and leverage a lot of the great programs and incentives and trainings that Julie and her team have really made significantly better since you came into the role. So great job. Co-sell with AWS this is the latest updated stats that we have from Canalys, and I'd be remiss if I didn't also share that 80% of partners that Canalys interviewed also said that they include Marketplace in their go-to-market motions as well. Higher close rates, larger deal sizes, higher revenue growth. So co-sell works. We can help you co-sell if you put good information into ACE. And I know a lot of you are thinking, oh man, that's hard. We've been working hard on automations to make ACE easier, more intelligent, and we're going to continue to put a lot of work into reducing the operational overhead of co-selling with AWS. But it's important. If you're not tagging what services, for example, you're influencing in your ACE opportunities, you should, because we look at that on the dashboards every week with the sales teams, and they're going to want to go to market with partners. And we use those types of, the metadata you give us, the more information you give this, the better we can make internal recommendations. And increasingly we're turning to AI-powered recommendations, like the ones I showed you in Marketplace product recommendations, to attach partners to opportunities. So the better data you give us, the more effectively we can co-sell with you with both humans and algorithms. So the SaaS co-sell benefit, which some of you may previously known as SRP, Ruba announced yesterday that beginning in January 2029 is now open to everyone, including startups, with anyone with ISV Accelerate program benefits. So this is very exciting. We're significantly expanding SaaS co-sell benefit. What this means is that our field is incented to co-sell with you. So we're opening up the gates, and Julia, I know, is very happy about this. We've been working very closely together to extend SaaS co-sell benefits to a much broader set of partners so that we can more effectively co-sell together with highly incentivized salespeople. Because let's take a poll. What are salespeople motivated by? Anyone? Money. So yeah, let's give them the money and we'll co-sell all the way. And customer success, of course. So business planning tool, you also told us feedback that you want easier ways to collaborate with our field teams. So we launched the business planning tool. We also launched Slack Connect, which allows you, the partner, without having to pick up the phone, to instantiate or to request a private Slack channel with the account team at AWS working on your opportunity. And then the business planning tool allows you then to collaborate on the information needed about that opportunity in a central place. So instead of having a shared work docs or whatever you were using before to collaborate, or more likely just back and forth emails, we're trying to make all of this much more automated and self-service and efficient. I keep using the word efficiency. I want AWS to be the most efficient place to co-sell, so the operational overhead associated with going to market with AWS is as low as possible. Partner Connections just came out. Some of you may know it as multi-party, and that allows you, the partners, to invite other partners to the deal, to multiple partners to collaborate on a single customer opportunity. We didn't really announce this, but it's public. We also use AI to actually recommend partners that you might want to include in the opportunity. And this is the same AI tool that we use to recommend partners to our own field internally. So if you're an ISV partner, for example, it may recommend a services partner to go to market with, or a channel partner that may help you. So again, increasing amounts of AI in our workflows and trying to make it as effective as possible to have multi-party workflows and co-sell workflows in general within AWS. This is all sort of starting to tie into the theme of making it easier to do business, not just operational overhead, but how can we go to market more quickly, or reach more customers, and to close those deals more rapidly and scale together. Account linking. Some of you have that button that's gone viral. Who has that button? You know what I'm talking about if you have it. Yes, thank you. So my team decided to tell me about it. I kind of wish they didn't. It would have been pretty funny if I showed up and everyone was wearing a button with my face on it at reInvent. But that button says I linked. And it means that I linked my Marketplace and my Partner Central account. We've been working really hard to bring the world of Marketplace, and formerly known as APN, together, both from a systems and a programs perspective. We made a lot of progress over the last 2 years, but I need your help. It's hard to do that if you, because it's your account, don't link your Partner Central account with your Marketplace account. Once you do that, we can do things like use the right legal name and tie together things more effectively on the back end. So I invite you all to link your Marketplace and Partner Central accounts. We've also automated the foundation technical review. If you've ever gone for a competency or any of these other programs, you go through a technical validation, and that has gone from days, sometimes weeks, to minutes in most cases, and we have an AI-powered foundational technical review. We also just launched the AI-powered Partner Assistant. It's actually powered by Q for Business, and that's a new chatbot that answers questions about the APN. We're going to work hard to add context-specific information there. Randall Hunt from Calent was chastising me because he said I asked it how many companies I had and it couldn't answer. Today it's about the general information about all of the APN programs. So you have one place, you can, instead of having to pour through documentation, you can get the information. But we are working hard to get partner-specific information in there as well. And again, in order to co-sell efficiently together and to grow our businesses together profitably, you need visibility. You need to better understand your business. Now you can sign up for Marketplace Seller Prime and have access to analytics dashboards that tell you about all of your top of the funnel information and how your listings are performing. We have a number of new dashboards and insights available. And importantly, we try our best to launch these with data feeds or APIs so that, hey, you can use Partner Central. I love it. But if you have your own systems to manage your business, if you're managing your business out of your CRM or your own systems, you can integrate that same data through our data feeds and through our APIs. Because again, we want to make it easy. We don't want to have what Masanya and my team calls the swivel chair effect, where you're having to look at 3 different dashboards. We want to create single panes of glass for you to manage your end-to-end business, inclusive of APN programs, Marketplace, all forms of co-sell in one place. And that place could be outside the walls of AWS in your own tools. So we'll give you those data feeds and give you those APIs. This is an area where we're innovating quickly. And I think with Q getting better, you heard Matt Garman on stage talking about it, our need to generate bespoke dashboards is going to decrease over time, because I would rather actually give you the ability to auto-generate dashboards on the fly corresponding to the data you need. Not quite there yet, but we're moving in that direction. So I'm not going to give you spam you with dashboards. I'm going to give you core dashboards of the core parts of your business and AI-powered tools to auto-generate the insights that you need in real time when you need it. That's the strategy. I thought I had another slide, but I packed a lot in. So I actually have some time left. We have 4 minutes and 35 seconds to answer questions before I have to sprint to another session. But we'll be doing it over here. We don't have time to take questions. But listen, first of all, I just want to say thank you. Not just Marketplace. Marketplace has grown into a multi-billion-dollar business where I had a partner last night tell me that they're going to hit $1 billion in the calendar year and are now a multi-billion-dollar partner by total contract value out of like not much a few years ago. I mean, that is amazing. But more importantly, we're delivering amazing things for customers more quickly. Customers are able to close more deals. Most of the demand I get for Marketplace comes from customers dragging the partner and saying, I want this now. And I think that's indicative of what's out there and how buyer behaviors are changing, how the industry is changing, both from the co-sell in general and a partnership perspective and a marketplace perspective. And just by being here, that means you're sitting with me in the middle of it. So I invite your feedback. Let's change the whole world of alliances and partnerships together. Thanks for your time.